Okay, I had my 8-year-old granddaughter come up to me today and ask me to show her a card trick. So I thought for a moment, what can I show her that she could readily remember and also perform, but at the same time have it be an effect that carries quite a punch when she goes to perform it. So this is what I came up with, and it went over so well that she was able to master it just seeing the steps once. And then watching the reaction of family members when she performed this, I thought I really need to share this on my channel with all of you. So I showed her that I have a pile of 8 red cards and 8 black cards. Okay, so we just kind of gathered those up together. And so what I did was I took 2 of the red, set them off on the left, 2 of the red, set them off on the right, left the remaining 4 red in the middle. I did the same thing with black, 2 black on the left, 2 black on the right, the remaining 4 black in the middle. And then we just simply switched the piles of 4. We put the red and the black in opposite places. And then we just go through and gather these. So there we go. Take this old pile of 2 onto the pile of 4 and so forth. Random stack here. Okay. Now, there's just one further step for the setup. A left-right shuffle, which she was able to do fine. Had to kind of watch her, but she did it perfectly with random stacking. Okay. So this is really where the packet begins. So this is what the spectator sees. I don't think she actually showed them the faces of the cards, but you could, as you can see here. They look quite well mixed with face cards and number cards of different values, suits and colors mixed together. Okay, and then she just gathered these, and I had her deal out half of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8 for one pile, for maybe the spectator up here, and then for the performer. Okay. Now from here, the spectator and the performer are allowed to deal out their individual piles into 2 piles with random stacking decided by them. And they can do this simultaneously. Okay. And they can make random independent choices as to how to stack the piles. They truly can. And in fact, they can choose to deal out into 2 piles a different number of times. Okay, so far I've done it twice there. I honestly haven't kept track of the stacking order. Okay, so maybe we'll do left on right here. And maybe we'll do it a 3rd time. Now, a note to you as the performer, you can deal out these piles of 8 into 2 piles of 4 as many times as you like with random stacking. Okay, it won't hurt anything. In fact, it might be that the spectator decides to deal out the cards more times than you did. That's just fine. Okay, so maybe we'll do it a 4th time, I believe. Maybe they'll want right on left. Okay, and then from here, all we did was we turned the piles face up like this. Okay. And I gave her one final choice. Which of these 2 piles should I flip over and have it face down? And it's a free choice. So maybe she'll choose this one here. Okay. And then from there, what we did was, to the great surprise of her and others that she showed it to, we're going to reveal that our independent choices have led to a harmonious agreement of the positioning of the red and black cards within our respective piles. So my top card here is red, so is theirs. My next card is black, so is theirs. Next card is black, as is this one. Next card is red, is theirs? Yes, it is. Next card on my pile is black. Is theirs? Yes, it is. Red for me and red for you. Very good. And we still have 2 more pairs, I guess. Red here in my pile and red for yours. And then finally, I'm hoping yours is black, and it is indeed. What a perfect color matching of those cards. And she was asked to perform this multiple times for one family member in particular. And as you might imagine, that family member was never able to figure out what in the world is going on with this. Okay, so let me just quickly explain to you what's going on, so that if you understand it more deeply, I think you'll be able to remember it more easily. Okay, well, you know what the setup is because you saw it. I showed you the setup, but let me explain the structures involved. Okay, so first off, if you remember, we did 2 red on the left, 2 red on the right, and then 4 red in the middle. That's fine. 2 black on the left, 2 black on the right, 4 in the middle, and then we just do a swap here. And now you just stack these from left to right or right to left, it doesn't matter. Okay, and then randomly stack these two. Okay, so what you have here in the language of the absolute math magic channel is you have a 2-tuple Bessey sequence of order 8. Okay, now that's a mouthful, and I'll add a link in the description below to not only Bessey sequences and quasi-Bessey sequences, but also to these n-tuple Bessey sequences. Okay, so the thing to realize is if you take them in, so it's called a 2-tuple, so if you kind of collapse down pairs, so imagine those as just one card there, one card here, one card there, one here, one there, one here as well, and one here as well. For those who have studied concepts on my channel, you'll recognize this as a Bessey sequence of order 8. Red, black, black, red, black, red, red, black. Or if you want to use zeros and ones, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0. So this is essentially a repetition of a Bessey sequence of order 8 within each element of that sequence. So we have 2 red, and then 2 black, and then 2 black again, and then 2 red, and then 2 black, 2 red, 2 red, 2 red, and then 2 black. So that's why it's called a 2-tuple Bessey sequence. Well, what will happen is if you deal this out into 2 piles, it will convert it to the, quote, concatenation of 2 Bessey sequences of order 8. Okay? So right here, I'll just show you really fast here. So there's the break. Black, red, red, black, red, black, black, red is a Bessey sequence of order 8. That same color distribution is found right here. Black, red, red, black, red, black, black, red. So it's the concatenation just means to place 2 things next to each other in juxtaposition. Okay, so this is the concatenation of 2 Bessey sequences. Well, what that means then is, you can show the cards, and they're going to look well mixed to just about anyone out there. I mean, they're not going to see any structure, and if you show it quickly enough, they see really nothing. So if you remember how we started was, we deal out half the cards, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, these will just be Bessey sequences of order 8, each of them. Okay? Like that, and like this. Now, they will be, let me point out, these will be inversions of each other, which is not a problem. So this one starts with red and has that pattern. This one starts with black and has an analogous pattern, right? So you can go from here to here by just switching red and black cards, okay? So we say that these are the inversion of one another, but technically both are equally valuable Bessey sequences of order 8. Okay? Now, when you have the cards in such an arrangement, there are hundreds of unique ways of mixing these and not harming that organization of the packet. Now, it may invert the packet in the sense that reds and blacks switch places, but that's the greatest amount of change that it will bring to that packet. Okay, so and so what that really means is the left-right shuffle is one of the many shuffles that you can perform on a Bessey sequence with random stacking and not harm the fundamental structure of that sequence. So really, the performer and the spectator can deal out into two piles independently of each other with random stacking decided by each of them independently, and it won't really harm the fact that both of these are Bessey sequences. Okay, and so this is really the case. I can deal this out 50 times, and they can deal theirs out 3 times or whatever. Okay, now when you get to the very end, there are 2 possibilities, and both of them are easy to accommodate. Now, the ideal possibility is that when you go to flip these face up, that they match in color from the start. That's like the ideal case. Now, that didn't happen for us, okay? And it didn't happen here either. It could. It depends on the stacking of left on right and right on left and how many times you do the dealing into 2 piles, okay? So sometimes these will match in color or they'll be opposite colors. Now, what will be the case is if these match in color, then they will match in color all the way down, 1 for 1, each pair. If these are of opposite color, then these cards at each level will be of opposite color all the way down. Okay? So a way to bring them in sync in the sense that they will match up in color, you just give the spectator one final random but true choice. They can freely choose which of the 2 piles to flip over face down. Okay? And so what that will do then is it will bring into sync the color distribution of these 2 piles. Okay, so this one's black and this one will also be black, guaranteed. This one's red, this one will have to be red, guaranteed. Okay, because these Bessey sequences are now aligned, essentially. Okay, now we wouldn't have to do the flipping over one of the piles if those top cards matched at the beginning. That's the important thing, and that happens, mathematically about half of the time. Okay, but when it doesn't happen, it's not really an issue because you just give the spectator one final choice, and for all they know, it was part of the routine itself to give them one last choice to affect the outcome. Well, that one last choice was actually going to make things work in the case that those up-facing cards are different colors at the end. If they match in color, you're all set. Go ahead and just reveal matching color pairs at each level. If they're of opposite color, give the spectator the free choice to flip over either pile face down, and now they will match perfectly. So I hope you enjoy this and take a look at other videos on the Absolute Math Magic channel.